Hi everybody, welcome back to Project Not So Slow. We're working on drag race car here with the 606. Currently we hurt our race engine. It is out, it is getting fixed. Well, we're waiting for parts so that we can fix it. So meanwhile, we are putting in our spare engine, which is completely stock turbo 606 that came out of a burnt car. If you haven't seen that video, us pulling out that engine and saving it, starting it up and making it run again from a burnt E300, check out that video. We're gonna swap over all of our performance parts like the turbo, the injection pump, over onto the spare engine or the backup engine in order to keep the stock 606 alive, even though it's proven they can handle over 600 horsepower. Fred from F-Tune said some important things to keep the 606 alive. The basics, very cheap necessities to do to a 606 is valve springs, pin the cam. The cam is pressed on and it holds on by hopes and dreams. So we're going to pin the cam and install valve springs, all without taking off the cylinder head, that anybody can do. And the pin, I just use a set screw that I got from Ace, drill and tap, a ton of Loctite, and it's going to be good.
So let's start swapping parts over. So we got the engine fully assembled, turbo, manifold, and injection pump on, and the transmission is now finished.
Ready to go.
Yep. So we're gonna slap these two together and then throw it into the car.
So I'm going to replace the valve springs without taking the cylinder head off. It's really easy to do first and sixth because it's in top dead center. So I'm going to take care of those. I made this tool right here. Just whatever, I had some gas line and some copper pipe laying around. With a nice long bolt right here. And I can just move it around wherever I need. So I'm going to start with first and sixth cylinder, change the valve springs. I wanted to show something real quick. So these are Dpuk Performance street springs, and these are the stock 606 springs. Quite beefier. One thing I wanted to show to all the 603 haters, this is a 603 stock 603 spring compared to a stock 606 spring. I mean, when I saw these for the first time, I was like, what is that? Is that a joke? The first and sixth cylinder valves was pretty simple. Top dead center, the valve doesn't go anywhere. Maybe it drops about like an eighth or a quarter of an inch. And now the way I got it to do a cylinder number 2 and 5 valves, I took another, I took a crankshaft and put a pulley on it just to see where the cylinders come up. So top dead center, you could see 1 and 6 are up, and about a 90 degree churn, about a 90 degree churn. Then cylinders 2 and 5 are up, and then another a little bit more than 90 degree, I feel like, until 3 and 4 are up. Yeah, I kind of drew the lines here. Top dead center, and then it's like 90, 180, and a little bit more. So I put the markings right here. At first I put the marking, I just eyeballed it, but this is less than 45. This was right here was perfect, because once I took off, I pushed on the valve, and the valve like fell to where it touched the cylinder head, and then I just turned it until the valve basically picked up all the way to the top. So that's to do cylinder 2 and 4. It's about 90 degrees turn. Just gotta hold the gear. Just gotta hold the gear. Pull on it nice and tight. Turn it until it reaches to that. We've got some compression. It's that 45, boom, right there. Top dead center somewhere around here, and then about a 90 degree, maybe a little bit more. And then cylinders 2 and 5 are able to hold the valves up. Still have a little bit more. I'm going to turn it right now and see if I can do how close I can get to do 3 and 4. Well, with the zip tie on there, yeah, this one's a little bit melted, but right behind it, it fits. I mean, you could probably keep going if you take off this plastic. It's really simple. There's just a pin down here, and then you can completely remove the plastic. I just think this is good enough. This mark right here, top dead center, and this mark 180 degrees. So I went a little bit past 180 degrees, and I think that's where 3 and 4 cylinders should be up and ready to hold the valves. Let's find out right now. I was able to get the valve spring out, but it's still, the piston's not there, so I have to turn the engine a little bit more. Just gotta hold it tight so the chain doesn't fall anywhere in there. Bam, right there, I could see the piston pushing up the valve. I think that's about it right there. That was all. All the valve springs have been replaced. Now I need to turn the engine back. Since I have the zip tie, I gotta go back, so I just gotta pull on the gear really tight and turn it back. Let's do it. Bam! Back to top dead center. Time to pin the cam. It's just the intake cam, because the intake cam is just kind of like a press fit, and it just holds on with hopes and dreams. So we'll drill and tap it. Through, just stopped with a few more threads left so I can tighten it without it going all the way through. Okay, now let's test fit what we got here. Okay, so that's perfect. So I'm going to take it out, clean the threads, and put a whole lot of Loctite and tighten it down. Unfortunately, ran out of space while tightening down the set screw, but I put a ton of Loctite, tighten it down. I'm pretty happy with it. Tighten it down really hard. That's going to stay there. It's not perfectly centered, but it's going to do the job. Now we can rev 7,000 RPM. Alright, another thing that I think is important. It comes on a 603 standard, but on the 606s they didn't have it, is an oil pressure sensor. What we used to have is an oil, like a mechanical oil pressure sensor, where the oil needed to follow a tube until it reaches the gauge, and then it could lift the needle. now we decided to go with the electric one, so it's much faster. Before it would take a really long time for the needle to start to respond to what the oil pressure is doing. I guess unless it falls off, then it'll be quick. But anyway, so we got a glow shift sensor right here. There's an opening in the oil filter housing, and I just took a bolt that had a thread that fits inside there that I could put a washer so I could tighten it down, and then drilled a hole and tapped it so I could put the sensor in there. So that's done. And another awesome thing is this super cool oil cooler. It was like, I think like only like $75 with the awesome fan. I love that fan. It has a really big shroud on it, and I think it's gonna do some really awesome work.
It's much better than our tiny little oil cooler that we had earlier, but now it's filled with metal because the kind of spun a bearing. But
I personally think a big oil cooler is quite important on the turbo models, since the oil squirts to cool down the pistons. So once you're doing like much higher EGTs, cool down the whole engine. Decided we'll start the car at this moment right now just to check out the gauges, how the gauges work, and then we'll continue on. Got a new oil filter in there, and added some more oil since it needs to fill up this nice big cooler. These lines a little bit crusty. These have been through a fire, but they should be fine. The cylinder head cleaned up really nice with the pressure washer, huh?
Yeah, pressure washer and dirt as the abrasive.
Yeah, but they're solid. I got new clips. Thanks, Daniel.
Which really sucks. Okay, well, gotta figure something out.
We try to run it off of the RPM right off of this sensor by just putting a wire on like this. It seems to not be working. I'm not sure if it needs anything additional to that.
Hey, but dude, this thing started really nicely.
Uh,
Like literally a couple of glow, like I didn't even count how long the glow plugs were going, but it started perfectly.
the compression's really good on this one.
Yeah, completely burn engine. That's crazy though. Yeah, and it starts awesome.
But I did redo all the valves. You remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I actually, the valves were really bad, but I spent the time and I redid all the valves and
I had
new
a shop
gasket.
do mine when they installed the new valve springs and valve stem seals.
Why did they do it as good as I did? I'm just kidding. I don't know. Yeah, take it off and let's see. Our next option is to put a 126 one on there.
Yeah, the 126 one has 2 connections. I'm gonna see right now if this one has 2 connections. I want to try to connect one side to ground and then one side to the signal wire to see if that'll work.
We actually really wanted to figure this out, so for anybody else swapping these engines into something. So I thought that was plastic, but it looks like it's metal on the outer edge. So
sadly, we don't have the original plug. Sadly, we cut it off.
And threw it away.
Yeah, threw it away because the entire harness was melted.
So now we have to manufacture her. It's all good. We could do it. Damn,
Yeah,
just some tape.
Yeah, some tape around it and another piece of wire in there.
And it'll work. Okay.
Let's do it. Gauge is on. Neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go!
That is wrong.
Is it? We turned up the RPM on the pump.
You did?
Remember we did it?
But not to over 1,000. I wonder, did you change it to 6 in the back?
I did see it. Yeah, that ain't right.
That's not right.
That's not right.
Hey, at least oil pressure's doing really good.
Yeah. That's definitely not right.
What matters is it's moving. That's really good. So now we can figure something out.
Okay, well, RPM moves. Praise God. I'm really happy that the RPM moves. but it's clearly not moving properly. There's no way that we were idling at like 1500 RPM. That's
yeah, and then it just slight throttle. It's already like
slight
going
throttle.
1,000 RPM.
It
So
was like almost like 3000 RPM when it should have been at like what, 1500?
yeah. What we're gonna do is in the back of this gauge, there's a little adjuster for how many cylinders your car is. So first we'll play with that to see if we can figure it out.
We don't know what RPM the actual engine is spinning at until we check it with something else.
I guess that worked. These alligator clips. Sweet. Engine runs. Basically back alive. Just gotta put the radiator on and a drive shaft, and it's ready to go.
So it runs awesome for a burnt engine inside a race car. I think it runs great.
So super excited. The car is almost back to where we left off, except this time I trust the person who put this engine together, who put the bearings in, a lot more than who put the bearings in the previous engine, because that was done in the factory. The stock bottom end, and that was put together in Germany like 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, 26 years ago. 27 years ago.
27 years ago. Over 200,000 miles. Everything's still running perfectly, so we'll just keep it that way. Just the important stuff. Valve springs. They pin the cam. And I also pinned the crank pulley, the Dpuk crank pulley pin, because I don't think it's that vital for most people, but I just had it on a 603. The pulley started walking, and then I thought it was a rod knock, and I was getting ready to buy another engine, and then I started taking off the radiator or the fan, and I noticed the pulley is just wobbling.
I've had it on a completely stock 603, the keyway completely break, and the pulley's literally spinning on the crank.
And even the 603 has a much beefier keyway than the 606. So I decided to still pin it so that we don't have any issues with the motor. So it runs great. The pump is only set to 5,500 RPM. So the stock internals will definitely be good for us up to closer to that 600 range. That's what we're going to...
bottom end.
Stock bottom end. We're going to try to keep it close to that, under that 600 wheel horsepower, somewhere around there for a track until we get the other engine up and running, and that one, it's going to be a lot more.
Also, set up the RPM, kind of. Figured out how to make the gauge move, but definitely got to do some tweaking with it since it's showing 1,500 RPM at idle, which is not true.
And the oil pressure gauge now is working awesome.
Yep.
Got that connected. It's showing real time, so like right away as you're cranking the engine, it's showing how much pressure once it starts to build pressure, and then once it fires, it shows the pressure instantly. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you guys. God bless America, and have a good rest of your day.